with Rhonda and Cynthia. And today, today we are talking about what was that about? And I got to tell you, I feel like this is a really timely topic because I am feeling all sorts of discombobulated. And I just caught up with Rhonda very briefly before the show and asked her how she was doing, and she kind of just paused and took a deep breath, and and I was like, yeah, I should be doing that too. How are you doing, Rhonda?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Thank you. Just living life one day at a time.
Yeah, that's really all we can do, right? That's really
Mhm.
all we can do. And sometimes, even when we're living one day at a time, that day gets ahead of us, and then we end up in a circumstance that just makes us go, "What the heck? how did that happen? Like, who did I become? Or wait, where did that come from?" And that I think would be an accurate description of every day this month, except maybe today. Today I have a break, but I've been getting lots of surprises all month. Surprising myself too. Like sometimes either getting like strange reactions from people that I interact with, where you're just kind of like, oh, this is a topic shift, or sometimes getting triggered and maybe like flaring up on somebody without that, and that person looking at me like, I think I
Oh,
triggered something and that was unexpected. So
yes,
it's
I
been a
did
very
that too. Yeah.
testy month.
It's been like that all month. And this is the 22nd already. So,
Day after solstice.
oh my gosh. Yeah. And
Yeah.
there was this huge solar flare the other day. And I remember apparently we had a lot of radiation hit us.
Mm.
And I'm like, I wonder if that has to do with the other day when I was outside and the sun felt unusually hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt almost like it was going to sizzle me.
I I get that. I think actually I'm feeling okay. Y'all know that I can be a little bit California woo woo, so I'm about to have a moment. But I'm feeling stretched. I'm feeling stretched physically, psychically,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
mentally. Like
yeah.
I just feel like I'm either going backwards and forwards, but that I'm not really like where I like this rubber band is about to snap or it's
Yeah.
about to take off, but like I don't know. It's vibrationally, it's just been a crazy month, a crazy couple weeks.
It really has been.
Yeah.
And I've been
Yeah.
banned from Facebook again.
Yeah.
Um,
I could probably be banned, except they I wouldn't know about it.
I'll tell you. Um, now I'm able to post things,
Okay.
but they've shut me up. I'm not allowed to comment on anything.
And you know what? Maybe that's a good thing.
Well, I was
Like,
thinking that too.
you
Maybe I've been
know,
apparently I was commenting too much.
yeah, maybe it's a good thing. Like maybe you just need to like save your I don't know, brilliance for yourself. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's just so much going on. And actually, it's funny that we're mentioning this. What was that about? But my husband's phone broke like 2.5 weeks ago, like right around the beginning of this month.
Oh,
And it's funny, but like only now do we realize how phone dependent we
Yeah.
were and are when we're in touch with each other. Like all of a sudden he'll be like, oh, like I'm gonna call that place and tell them, and then he's like, oh, I don't have a phone, or I'll be like, well, I wanted to tell you when I was coming home, but you don't have a phone. And at first he was saying, I don't need a replacement, I don't want a replacement, and now he's like, I want a replacement. It's been too hard. No, it's
I
been
don't
a
even know
wild
what to
month.
say.
It's been a wild month. I think at this point I'm basically not going to sweat anything.
Yeah, I
Maybe
hear
that's the
you.
lesson. Maybe that's the lesson, honestly. Like, it's like, oh, okay, somebody, lost it in a meeting on
Yeah,
me. They must be feeling the flare ups, or oh, I lost it on somebody. I must be feeling the flare ups. I don't know. And maybe that's the lesson. It's really like, don't sweat, don't sweat it.
yeah. It's like these little triggers are like tests.
Yeah, it's just that there's like a lot of them. They're very frequent, and they're they're a little bit disruptive too. I mean, they're not
Yeah,
like small. It's not like stubbing your toe. It's like the kind of flare up that will rock you, like
yeah,
where you almost have to like step aside for an hour or something, and just chill, or to really like change your headspace and reintegrate. um yeah, it's gonna take more, or for me it's been taking more than just like a 5-minute bathroom break. It's requiring
right.
me to like leave the office building, find some place that's air conditioned, that's not the office, and just take my mind off things completely.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah, and I have I had an interesting experience yesterday. Most of it was not yesterday, whatever. I lose track of time trying to remember what I did yesterday and try to be in the present, you know.
That
So,
was yesterday.
yeah, uh, I went in on a job that I accepted,
Mm-hmm.
and so one of the things I have to do, and it was like I was covert, and then I do reveal who I am. So um, one of the things they're looking for is that the employees have their name tags on.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl, the cashier, she was so sweet, just a
Mm.
sweet person. She kind of reminded me of Latifah. She had a resemblance to Latifah, and it was apparently other people have done noticed it too. So she goes, "Oh, I forgot to put my name tag on. Can I go get it?" And I said, "Well, whether you get it or not doesn't matter at this point. I have to record
Mm-hmm.
that you weren't wearing it when you helped me." Then out of nowhere in the background, I hear this voice. "You're going to get written up for not having your name tag on." I mean, how
Mm.
so inappropriate. I'm like, where did that voice come from? And I saw some short lady over by this something. And I'm just going, I'm thinking to myself, why did you do that?
Yeah.
This sweet, beautiful lady I was talking to, her entire countenance changed,
Mm.
and not for the positive.
Yeah.
And her demeanor changed a little bit too. So I have a sneaky feeling her working environment probably isn't the most positive. if
Nope.
someone's stupid enough to do that.
Yeah.
Rude. It was so rude.
Yeah.
Um, so I have to, I have to report on what I see, hear, and do, and take a lot of pictures. So I made note of that in
Mm-hmm.
my report that here's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And God, I'm just hoping that doesn't make things worse for the sweet person.
Right.
It was kind of new.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my only negative, I think. Oh, yeah. And before I walked in, some maybe it was that one or another one. As I walked in, some lady was in a truck. And then as I walked out, she just looked at me and glared at me. And I'm like, oh my God, she's a dark person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just in my head going, oh, I rebuke all of this bull.
Yeah.
You're not
Well,
going to get one of them. Oh, and then the rest of the day, it was like I was meeting angelic people all day long.
and actually, I'm so glad that you're bringing that up, because actually that's really kind of what's happening. There's like this vibration of like goodness and all of the things that like make you feel good and help you sort of like, skip through your day. But then there's like a lot of this counter vibration that's getting really triggered by like all of these good feelings. And I think that might be that stretch that I'm talking about, that I'm feeling, at least, on an energetic level. And it's manifesting itself in physical ways too. Because that stretch, like I am feeling a shortness of breath. I'm feeling fatigue. Like I've been taking naps every day at lunchtime.
Mm,
I've been sleeping for more than 8 hours a night. But
mm.
like 2 nights ago, I had a dream that I was sleeping in a garden looking at the stars. Well, looking at facing the stars, seeing them, closing
Those
my
are
eyes and
all
sleeping.
symptoms of what we
Yeah.
were talking about before we came online. Yes.
Yeah, I was dreaming about sleeping, like in at night, and I was like, gosh, when I woke up, I was like, God, that just shows how exhausted I am. That like
Yeah.
I'm trying, like even my mind is saying, you need rest. You need rest. Like that's what we're doing right now, and I'm like, I know, I'm
And
like
I've been waking
simmer
up at
down.
like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, wide awake.
Hmm.
Couldn't go back to sleep to save my life.
Yeah,
It was very annoying.
yeah, yep. But that's a summer solstice action right there.
Yeah, it
Those that
is.
the
That's what I heard.
longest day, all of these vibrations that are just kind of tugging against each other. And we're caught in that like vibrational tug of war right now.
Yeah, we
And
are. So tell me
and
some
I
more about that.
about the vibrational tug of war.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's something that we're definitely seeing it, on a collective level. I mean, read a newspaper, look at the news, and you'll see like all of the crazy stuff that's going on. I don't follow the news, so sometimes I'll sort of like catch an idea of something through social media feeds.
Yeah.
But I'm also seeing it on a personal level. In fact, similar things, and actually, I think a lot of the flare-ups that are happening on that lower vibrational level with people who tend to be more blamers and more complainers and maybe just less optimistic than
Mhm.
I tend to be on the whole. Um, that I think that it's also really like triggering them to see that there's like this general optimism, despite you know all of the atrocities that are happening. I mean, from climate change to any human rights offense. name it, that there's still
Happening.
also there is some kind of like bubbling up of stuff, and I think that's what I think I'm feeling it. I'm feeling optimistic about it, but I think pessimists are feeling like they need to lash out, and they're doling it out a lot.
Boy, that's an understatement, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just like that woman, who is, I don't know, in line or in the shop, who just made that comment to that young lady. Like, why did she insert herself? None of it was her business.
No,
And
it
yet,
wasn't. It was none of her business.
yeah,
And I was thinking how rude. So I had to write it in my report about what I observed.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
in the private, because the client reads this stuff.
hmm,
And in the comment part where nobody can see it but my company, I'm going, you
yeah.
should have seen the look on this girl's face after this lady did this.
Oh,
And so I said, I just felt it was so noticeable. I had to tell you about it.
let's send her some love and light. Love and light.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think she was relatively new.
Hmm.
She's obviously has a poor leadership skills in the person that either she's working with her, or if it was a supervisor. My
Hmm.
suspicion is there's a lot of turnover at that location, because
Right.
people will only put up with being treated like that for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they've got a total complete victim mentality.
Yeah.
Um, so I
And
don't know.
even that, I think this going back to, the lesson to be learned, if your habit is to sort of be the victim in those moments, like
Mm.
this is the perfect time to for the teachers to appear and the students to take notice, because those teachers are not letting up. Yeah, it's I don't know. I have to say I'm a little bit, I'm not baffled, but I'm definitely, like, make it stop. Because it's just kind of like, it's kind of relentless, like one after the other. There's little
Yeah.
time for integration.
Well, here's one for you. Here's something at the end of my day. I thought, I'm going to stop in Panera and get a salad. Something tells me to eat something light. I don't feel
Uh-huh.
like cooking. So what I did was I ordered online, and so my I could just walk in and pick it up.
Uh-huh.
And so he wasn't finished yet. I was standing by the counter in Panera, and he's handing the bag over. I said, "Hey, I can eat this outside, right?" Because they had tables set up. He goes, "Yes, would you like a plate?"
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I really need one or not." He goes, "Well, I thought maybe having a plate would make eating more comfortable for you."
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh my
really
god! And I ran
lovely.
into like three other situations like that, like the previous hour. And this is after I said in my head, I rebuke all these negative people. I just don't have.
Yeah.
I don't want you around. I don't need your energy. And then to have that, oh my gosh, he was a young guy, and I'm thinking,
Mhm.
who would think of saying that to somebody?
That is
So he
lovely.
handed me a he handed me a plate, and I went outside, and I was able to put my bowl on the plate and with my utensils and my bread, and it was rather nice. It was nicer.
Oh, I love that. I really do.
Yeah, yeah, and
Actually, it's making me think of something that Abraham Hicks always talks about. And they always talk about the power of contrast, because contrast creates
Mhm.
that clarity for you about what you want to rebuke, right? And
Mhm.
so as you had that rebuking moment, at the same time you birthed a very clear
Yeah.
desire.
Yes.
And look at that, just
Look how
like,
fast it happened. That
yeah,
just blew my mind.
yeah,
We are creators, aren't we?
we really are. We really are.
Yeah.
You know, we need to get clear
Yeah.
with our desire. That's
Mhm.
that's all it takes.
But yeah, and I still remember that lady in the truck, the way she looked at me. Because first off, my first thought was, "You don't even know me." I'm walking out, I got this smile on my face. I don't know. And she's like, and I'm just going, boy, somebody had a bad day at work or whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Now that's my first thought.
Hmm.
But then I was just like, oh, I'm not going to let you give me that in my head.
Yeah.
So I rebuked it. It's kind of crazy. If people could hear my thoughts sometimes, they probably would kind of.
Need a dictionary.
Oh well, but when you see the results, when I do stuff like that and I see almost instantaneous results, how can I doubt?
Yes. You can't. You can't. And I think that's an important step or an important stage of really
Yeah,
owning who you are and living
yeah,
up to your life's purpose,
yeah.
and it's not so much about the description of the purpose, except
Mhm.
it is about the knowing of who you are,
Yeah,
um, at a deep level. And it really doesn't matter whether you can like describe to somebody what that purpose is or not. It's
right.
being able to honor that
Mhm.
and truly, like, whose purpose is to be a butthole to other people all the time. I really don't think that exists.
Oh,
I think that's the knee jerk reaction of somebody who's been victimized all their life and they really haven't understood how to take agency for themselves.
correct. Agreed.
And then we
Agreed.
end up in that what was that about sort of minute moment.
Exactly. Exactly.
you know.
What was that about?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the more I go along and start learning about, being more aware and mindful of energy and where
Mhm.
people, and looking at people differently as an observer,
Mhm.
things look so much differently. It's like
Yeah.
you can't take anything personally anymore
No.
because, hey, if you're an asshole, that's not my fault.
No. No.
But what is my fault if I decide to hang around with you and keep
Yeah.
subjecting myself to it?
Yep. 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 Yeah. And
Oh God.
actually, and I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because that's where, like, you start understanding, you know what? I don't have to sit in this meeting room and put up with this. You
No.
know. You can
Now
say,
years ago I thought I did.
I
And
I
and
have
here
well for the longest time. Yeah.
and
And I know that there are people out there who now think that they still have to sit there and listen to it, put up with it.
well, yeah, because you're conditioned.
Yep.
Um and I always like the oh, I have to go to the bathroom.
Hmm.
And I just don't go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yes.
nowadays I can speak up and if I get confronted, which isn't going to happen, might happen in the future, it's going to be kind of like what I really want to say is, I got tired of listening to all that bullshit.
Hmm.
That's what I really want to say.
And you know what? Maybe one
I'm
day
with
you'll
you.
say it. And what
One
like
day I
what's
will. I don't know if I'll be that direct.
but what's
Maybe it depends on who I'm talking to. But what?
but
Why
direct
am
or
I afraid of
indirect?
you? Yeah,
Yeah.
why am I afraid of you?
Like
Why
I
am
don't
I
need to
afraid
put
of
up with
you?
this. I don't need to intake this, you know. I mean,
Correct.
feedback is one thing, abuse is another, you know. And
Right.
sometimes it's like your feedback has crossed that line.
Yes.
You know, you gave it to me in the first 5 minutes, and here we are 45 minutes later, and I need to go to the bathroom and pack your bags. Or just say, like, I don't need this. Like, I think we're done. I think we've been done. And walk
I
out.
wonder what would happen if more people started doing that. The whole
I
friggin'
think more
room should
people are
just get up
starting
and
to do
walk
that.
out. Why
I
not?
mean, we
Let's have
we
a
heard about
protest.
the great resignation, you know, that was going on last
Yeah.
year, and
Yeah.
I think that more people are doing it in
Mhm.
various versions, you know.
Right.
Some people are just saying like I'm doing all my work from home, you know,
Yeah, they
or
have.
they're on a call and they just, you know, hang up and they say we got disconnected. I've got Wi-Fi issues. Sorry.
Oh,
Like
and yeah. And now I just spot check the news here and there. And the other day I saw one about, oh, well, they're finding that working from home isn't working out. Well, now I'm thinking if the news is telling us that, then it's the opposite
mhm,
because they've been
mhm.
lying to us for forever.
Forever because
And
they're the mouthpiece for the establishment.
yeah, some call it, yeah, um, those those dark dark energies. You
Yeah.
know, and I don't want to say the word because this might get bleeped. Who knows? There's still censorship going on out there.
Faux show.
That's why I'm
Absolutely.
not allowed on Facebook right now. Not allowed to comment. And I'm like,
Well,
wow, I haven't and I think it came to I was making too many comments.
yeah.
I was just having one of those days and too much free time and people were writing things and I'm just like,
Yeah.
so they didn't like it. Okay, now that's a new one on me. Now you comment too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just that
There's a
people that
shift.
I have known for years and years just all at the same time happened to be very active that day. Like, oh, hey, I want you to know I know you're out there.
All good. All good.
Yeah,
You'll survive.
it's almost forcing people to go underground to be themselves.
Well, or maybe just contemplate being themselves without that feedback,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
really owning who you are. And, you know, Facebook will still be there,
Yes, it will.
you know. Oh, well, it
Oh
is the top of
God.
the hour. I can hear the church bell chiming.
Oh, okay. That's your sign. Okie doke.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a church bell that goes off at 4 o'clock. I don't know why. There must be a
huh.
mass on Thursdays.
Oh, must be. Interesting. Have no clue.
Me neither.
Well, we want to thank those of you who watch Cooler Talk either now or later. Feel free to comment, say hello. We appreciate you, and we hope your day is fabulous.
Groovy.
Oh, I hear the bell now.
Oh, you hear it?
It's loud.
Yeah. Well, it's just down the street, the church.
Jeez.
Hmm.
I've been looking at some beautiful pictures of Switzerland recently. Yeah, God, it's beautiful there.
It is. It
Uh,
is. It's hot though.
yeah.
I'm
With that,
loving
I'm
it, but it's hot.
agreed. Hey, ciao.
See you next week.